Okay, what I'm doing, I'm making me a window glazing removing tool, and there's several of them I've got here right now. I used to use this Woodruff key cutter. You can get it from a metalworking supply place or whatever. Now, this works great. The only thing is it's not wide enough. I mean, you can get wider ones, but these things are pretty expensive and they're kind of hard to sharpen. So the next thing, what I did, I went to a 1/2-inch bolt. It's got just about the wide enough, just as wide as a glazing rail itself, from the glass out to the edge. And this one I've put on a grinder, and I've grinded the teeth in it. If you don't have a grinder, which this is going to be quite a bit harder to do, I mean, but if you've got any kind of a little shop at the house, you can get a grinder. But if you're 1,000 miles away from home when you're trying to get glazing out of a window, you can take a hacksaw. I've already cut the top part, as we were going to call the teeth, cut the tooth part. Now we're clean to do. As you can see, we've got a pretty good sharp tooth there now. The only thing is when it gets dull, you're going to have to sharpen it with a file. But with a grinder, you can just come in and just hit it with a grinder with this one. Now, another thing about these bolts, this has got 3 notches on it, which means it's a grade 5 bolt. Same with this one. Now these are quite a bit hard. I mean, they're not as hard, and these are the ones you'd probably want to get. Now you can get the ones without the marks on them, and those are just standard bolts. They're not really used for anything to hold any strength, because they'll stretch. Grade 5 bolt won't, but it's a lot harder to cut. But in any case, all right, let's go over to our window. You can see how nice of a job that does. And that's all I'm using is a bolt. And the one good thing about it, you don't put it flat against the glass. You kind of run it a little bit of an angle so you don't scratch the glass. See, this bottom down here is caulking. They didn't put glazing in here, they put caulking, and you know how hard it is to get caulking out of a glazing rail. Work gloves. I forgot to put my gloves on. If a piece of this glass broke and hit my hand, I wouldn't have any protection at all. So you want to make sure you've got some gloves on, and eyewear, and a hat, so in case something falls out from above you. You know, if this thing shatters into a bunch of pieces, you don't want a small piece cutting your face. So one of those floppy hats would be great. But you kind of get an idea of where I'm going with this. This works really well, and I wish you the best.